Hello everyone, I'm Gracia Tasio and this is the week for the 12 Ascendants. I will make a brief overview of what is happening on the sky in the week of 30th of December until 6th of January. And then we will see how the main celestial events of the week will influence the 7 Ascendants. So, and also the timestamps you will find under this video. So what is happening this week are some very interesting celestial events. And this is Mars, who just very recently entered his sign of Scorpio. Mars is ruling Scorpio and Aries, and Mars enters Scorpio. And this is very interesting because Mars in Scorpio is very powerful, but because this is the natural 8th house of the zodiac, is also very esoteric, very secretive, very much about knowledge, because there we also have powerful royal star, we have specific degrees of Hermes of knowledge. So Mars in Scorpio is very much about knowledge. The other very interesting thing is that on the sky we will be having at this very moment only 2 visible planets, and I'm not counting the sun and the moon. The 2 visible planets are Mars and Venus on the sky, because all other planets, interestingly, are concentrated in the constellation of Sidereal Sagittarius. So Mercury invisible, Jupiter invisible, they are very near the Sun. So the Sun is also in the sign of Sagittarius, Ketu, the lunar node, and we also have Saturn and Pluto. They're all in the sign of Sagittarius. And they're all invisible, and they just became invisible this week. Saturn also joined, and he also became invisible. So, and then Venus is visible in the sign of Capricorn. So Venus in Capricorn, he's a little bit limited in what we expect from Venus, like love and finances and joy. But Venus in the sign of Capricorn is not badly placed, because she's aspecting her own sign of Taurus, and also because Saturn and Venus are not enemies at all. So Venus in the sign of Capricorn is a bit limited in terms of love and finances, but is also very wise Venus, being an evening star, romantic, but still very wise in her romance. Another very interesting thing is that if you imagine that you have the sign of Sagittarius, you have the concentration of planets in the sign of Sagittarius, and on both sides we have Mars and Venus. All planets are gathered in the most spiritual, philosophical, lofty sign as Sagittarius, and all planets are like gathered there on a kind of assembly. And then on both sides we're having Venus and Mars, which are pretty much associated with people's instincts and desires. So the week is more about indeed human people's desires, and it will be valid also in January, but let's talk specifically about this week. But it will be very much about spiritual and belief system, and it will be how we perceive spirituality. It will be about us rethinking our spirituality, our belief system, our philosophical system, and also gaining knowledge. So these are the most interesting celestial events that are happening this week. And of course, we had just the eclipse, and the first lunar crescent was seen yesterday on the 28th of December, and then on the 29th of December is the first lunar crescent. So this week the moon is very, very young, and it's starting from the constellation of Capricorn. And with this we are emphasizing on Capricorn, on moral values, on justice. It is what is actually, it corresponds to what is happening in the constellation of Sagittarius. The planets which are so important and related to justice, belief system, moral values, discipline, are gathered in the sign of Sagittarius, and Venus is also there. So this is the emphasis of the week, and also the coming month. The emphasis is also on knowledge, having Mars in his own sign of Scorpio. So this was my brief overview, and now let's see what the week will promise for the 12 ascendants, and I'm starting with Aries. With you, this interesting conjunction of planets, of the invisible planets, Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, not invisible of course, but they're hidden in the rays of the Sun, Saturn and Pluto and Ketu are meeting on your 9th house. This is directly related to your spirituality, to how you perceive spirituality, to knowledge. And also your ascendant ruler is very powerful on your 9th house. So it is about secret sciences, secrets in general. It is about money which can appear unexpectedly through partnership or through other means, but it is mainly about knowledge. It could be so that this week would be very powerful for you in terms of spirituality, spiritual interests. The week would be very promising in terms of career and work. The week of course is associated with holidays and free days and days off, but still Venus is aspecting your ascendant from your 10th house, and this is quite promising in terms of peace at your career place, or peace in relationship with superiors, or just good peaceful environment at work, which will also be fine for your finances. Fine for your finances because also Mars in Scorpio on your 8th house, but finances that would arrive either through your partner or through unexpected means. So this week you may travel, you may negotiate, but what you will benefit the most from is to study or to revise your studies, or to find time for revisiting your own beliefs, system of spirituality, and also studies. So the week is very, very interesting, very powerful in terms of spirituality for you. And now let's look at Ascendant Taurus. So let's continue with Ascendant Taurus. Now for you, your Ascendant ruler is on your 9th house in the constellation of Capricorn. This is there. Venus is quite limited, quite organized, quite structured, but still she has very powerful and positive influences because she's aspecting her own sign, which is your ascendant. So I see this placement of Venus as very much about education, very much about knowledge, about lucky opportunities, about possible travels or some possible relationship with people abroad. On the other hand, Mars is on your 7th house. I'm talking about Ascendant Taurus. Mars is on your 7th house, from where he is bringing some intense energies on your 7th house, and is sextiling Venus, who is your ascendant ruler. So with this, Mars can bring some interesting energies related to your private and love life. Could be the day you may need to be a little bit patient and loving, but these are certainly not bad energies, but could be that they get too emotional. On the other hand, all these invisible planets, Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, Saturn, Pluto, Ketu, are on your 8th house. From there, you're not directly experiencing and feeling their influence, but since these are very tense energies, very this is a concentration of the energies of powerful planets, so you may experience them indirectly through the experiences of your partner, romantic partner, or through some incomes that are related to your partner, to partnerships which are being decided and discussed now, but you may know about them later, towards end of January, when some of the planets will become finally visible. So a lot is like happening now on your secretive 8th house, but you may not find out what is going on yet. So be alert, be awake. The week is appropriate to communicate with people abroad because of the 8th house ascendant ruler, and most probably you'll be tempted to travel or communicate with people abroad. The week is harmonious. When your ascendant ruler is training your ascendant, is very spiritual, very special, blissful week for you. So have a wonderful week to come. So let's see now Ascendant Gemini. Now for you, we already spoke how lucky you are finally, Jupiter, to enter your 7th house. You have also concentrated energies of Mercury Jupiter, the Sun, Saturn, Ketu, Pluto on your seventh house. Seventh house of relationships, of people you know, seventh house of your romantic partner, and seventh house of agreements. You may say that you don't feel yet the blessing of Jupiter, and this may be normal because Jupiter at this very moment is invisible, and you will start feeling him very, very much on after end of January, and you feel him blessing your relationship, actually blessing every area of your life which was a little bit limited and suffered from the from Saturn on your seventh house. So what is happening right now, it's like a preparation for better events to take place in the coming year 2020. Now you're having Venus and Mars just around, like just on around your descendant, like Mars and Venus are making harmonious aspect, and this can be, these are also powerful energies related to intensive events that may take place in your routine environment. A lot may be taking place there, and it is certainly not bad. It is because Mars is on your sixth house and he's in his own place, and his own place is Scorpio in your on your sixth house. And Scorpio, Mars has a little bit different nature than when Mars is in the sign of Aries. In Scorpio, he has depth, and he has these secretive energies, and this is how he may influence your routine environment. But it is not bad because Mars is at home and he's not that harmful in his own sign. He may influence a little bit also your love life and make it a little bit too emotional and too tense. But other than that, I think that you're already luckier with Jupiter entering your seventh house, and you will feel much, much better when he becomes visible end of January 2020. So this is this week is not very appropriate for you to negotiate, to travel, and to do new beginnings, but you can concentrate on your routine environment, because there you may have all the energies. Like you may have these new energies for and ideas and plans to fix things, or to work with your subordinates in the routine, not so much for new beginnings, not so much for new plans. It's more in the routine, organizing it, leading it if you want. But the week is not so appropriate to travel because of the placement of your ascendant ruler who is against your sign. However, the week can be wonderful for knowledge, for studies, and for sharing your knowledge. Okay, this was for ascendant Gemini, and now we're looking at ascendant Cancer. For you, Venus, ascendant Cancer, Venus is on your seventh house, very powerfully, beautifully to aspect your ascendant, to support your love life, your private life, your agreements, and is making harmonious aspect with Mars from your fifth house. Can be very intensive, very powerful and good for your love life, very emotional in a very good sense. The concentration of the energies of the other planets which are invisible but are meeting on your sixth house in the sign of Sagittarius. So you're having Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, Ketu, Saturn, Pluto meeting in the sign of Sagittarius on your sixth house, which is about your routine environment, which is about relationship with subordinates, which is about health issues. Because Venus aspect in your ascendant, I don't expect that you will suffer health issues, but still it's appropriate to take care of your health in a good way, maintain healthy lifestyle. This energy is so concentrated on your sixth house will say, be alert, be awake. And because when they're invisible and hidden things can be happening behind your back, which are not reviewed, which are not evident to you. Therefore, be very diplomatic, very alert, very awake for the things that may be happening at work or in your routine environment, your everyday environment. This week may not be very appropriate to negotiate, may be okay to travel, but certainly it's not appropriate to negotiate. It can be wonderful to involve studies and knowledge into your routine environment. This could be some kind of remedy for the possible hidden issues that may be going on. But if you involve knowledge, studies, sharing your knowledge, this could be a remedy for what is taking place on your 6th house. Other than that, the week can be very spiritual, and you do have the blessing from your 7th house, the blessing for your private life, and in general, the blessing of Venus. All right, now let's see Leo ascendant. Now for you people with Leo ascendant, the sun, your ascendant ruler, is in your 5th house, brilliantly to bring you luck and to support your activities related to artistic work and to design, pleasure, creative work, creative studies. The sun indeed is on your 5th house, and the sun is your ascendant ruler, but is together with Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Ketu, Mercury, all invisible. This would say that these desires to create and to study can happen in a very spiritual, delicate, intrinsic level, but still they are there. On the other hand, Mars is in his own place on your 4th house, which is not disharmonious because he is ruling the sign of Scorpio. He can give energies and good impetus to create and to do things at home more than to do things in your career environment. It could be that you don't have right now this desire to do any career plans or improvements. In this very moment, Venus is on your 6th house, from where she will be supporting your health and your routine environment, your relationship with subordinates. So the week is good for you. However, keep in mind still, because you're having still all those planets, including Ketu, Saturn, and Pluto, on your 4th house, it is still appropriate that you remain a little bit attentive towards children and careful, and also listen to what they have to say. Really be attentive and be a little bit alert, because this is the 5th house of children. But it is wonderful time to study, wonderful time to do design and spiritual work. So this was for ascendant Leo. So let's see now ascendant Virgo. Now your ascendant ruler, Mercury, is together with Jupiter, with the Sun, with Saturn, with Pluto, with Ketu. They're all invisible. And this is very delicate. This can make you a little bit introvert, not so much desiring to see people. You may desire to stay at home. It can be very spiritual time, like exactly the time which is typical for Sagittarius, very philosophical, very spiritual, and also very intrinsic because of the invisibility of the planets. But these are powerful energies concentrated on your 4th house. On the other hand, you have in Venus on the 5th house, aspecting the ascendant, aspecting the descendant. This is very lucky and powerful for your love life, for your relationship. You can have also a powerful time for studies and exchanging studies. The time is not so very appropriate to travel. For you in particular, is more to stay at home, to experience this spiritual awakening that you most probably go through, like going on another level of spirituality. And this is because of the sign of Sagittarius and all those very powerful energies concentrated on your 4th house. So it is appropriate for the season and the holidays, but still it is also appropriate for what is taking place on the sky. Like it is a timing to stay at home, that you probably will not seek friends and not seek so much of public events to participate in. It is more about knowledge, spirituality. It is good for your private and love life, and it is also very appropriate to study and share knowledge. You may travel, but the week is not so appropriate to negotiate. This was for ascendant Virgo, and now we are looking at ascendant Libra. Your ascendant ruler, for ascendant people with ascendant Libra, is on your 4th house in the sign of Capricorn. And when we know that the ascendant Libra typically is very much about creativity, design, exact sciences, discipline, if also Saturn is placed well. And when you have Venus in the sign of Capricorn, which is not enemy sign for Venus, this is exactly what we will expect also now. Venus there is a little bit structured. She's not bad in the sign of Capricorn, but she's structured. She's more disciplined. And because this is the fourth house, it's more about desiring to be at home. The invisible planets for you concentrated on your third house. You have invisible Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, Pluto, Ketu, and this is powerful for spiritual awakening. It becomes very delicate on a very intrinsic, delicate, invisible level, deep in your soul, not being reviewed to the others. But this is like transformation happening to your level of spirituality, or receiving new knowledge, or not really so much desiring to share knowledge because the planets are still invisible, but it is about reviewing what you know and finding out new truths, new knowledge, new secrets, and they are all on a very spiritual level. The week is not bad for your finances because Mars is in his own place of Scorpio, and Mars is now away from your ascendant, so this is quite okay. It's not so much appropriate to travel and negotiate. It's very appropriate to expand your knowledge, spirituality, awareness, to do this with people that you love more at home. And the week is not bad for your finances at all. And now let's see the sign of Scorpio. Now for you, your ascendant ruler is on your ascendant. Very powerful. It's like this is a time for yourself, for your own plans, for your own, if you want, awakening. It will give you powerful energies and drive to create. On the other hand, Venus is creating harmonious aspects. So this is very good for your knowledge, studies, spirituality, for your love life as well. Could be very emotional even. In terms of finances, all the invisible planets on your second house, they are not very generous in terms of finances, but could be that this is a period of transition. Like right now, the things are calm down. They are not very evident and obvious what is happening on financial level, but after end of January there will be. But this week financially may not be very, very fruitful and positive. Could be that it is more like preparatory for some more positive financial events to take place. But right now, the week is not so fruitful in terms of finances. You may travel and you may negotiate this week, but the week is not so appropriate for new beginnings due to the fact that there are too many invisible planets. So wait, after 30th of January, you will have wonderful opportunities. Okay, and now let's see Ascendant Sagittarius. For you, of course, interestingly, we will be repeating this, I know, but still, Jupiter is on your ascendant. But let's not forget that for quite some time, Jupiter is invisible and will be visible again on 30th of January, when I will be making talismans of Jupiter. So Jupiter will be visible 30th of January. Up until then, you may say that you don't really experience his powerful influences. You will experience his influences a bit later. But still, also then Saturn will leave your ascendant, so it will be complete relief. You will feel very, very well. But now, in this very moment, you're having Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, Saturn, Pluto, Ketu, all on your ascendant. So on personal level, a lot must be happening to you. Personal awakening, revision of your philosophical belief system, finding out new secrets in relation to spirituality, ancient knowledge, truth, philosophical, psychological, if you want also. So in this sense, on a very delicate, introvert, hidden, secretive level, a lot will be happening, things that you're probably realizing slowly and not yet reviewing to the others. This is due to invisibility of the planets. Financially, the week looks fine with Venus on your second house, and during this week you may travel. Not very appropriate to negotiate, but you're safe to travel. You're safe to do your routine. So in this sense, the week is good. But of course, it will be better after 30th of January once you start feeling the energies of Jupiter, who is your ascendant ruler and who will be on your ascendant. So this was for Sagittarius ascendant, and now let's see ascendant Capricorn. Now for you, Venus is on your ascendant, and Venus is loved by Capricorn because Saturn and Venus are not enemies. Even Saturn loves Venus. So Venus is on your ascendant, which is lovely blessing. Mars from his own place, from your 11th house, is creating sextile. Beautiful energies, good for your, can make you a bit too emotional, can be good for your love life, can be good for your just they're very beneficial in terms of feelings, emotions. You could go through some emotional periods. On the other hand, all planets, including Saturn, who's ruling your ascendant, are in the sign of Sagittarius, which is your 12th house, and there you have Saturn, Sun, Pluto, Jupiter, Mercury. So a lot is happening. Could be that this is on your 12th house, the house of dreams, the house of empathy, tempo, seek, helping others. Your sleep could be that this results in interesting dreams, desires to do, and it's appropriate to do empathic work, helping others, helping poor. Could be that if you do this, it's very good for your feelings, for your karma, all because of the concentration of planets. But this is also period, again, very spiritual, because your ascendant ruler is there with the other planets in the sign of Sagittarius. Very spiritual, very important for your spiritual growth and awakening and knowledge. Could be that you desire to travel. Could be because the 12th house is associated with this, but your plans may not manifest up until the planets become visible and up until your ascendant ruler enters your ascendant. So this week may not be very, very active, but may be very emotional and very spiritual. And you may experience different spiritual events happening in your life, but a practical, intense, visible events, I don't think that of big power may not be happening this week. Other than that, the week can be good financially for you. And now let's see ascendant Aquarius. Now for you, you're having this in conjunction, very intense conjunction of planets, Mercury, Jupiter, Ketu, Saturn, Pluto, and the Sun. They're meeting on your 11th house. This can be interesting in terms of your social circle. These are energies which would certainly influence your social circle. Could be that things happen and became a bit invisible for you. Like there could be a lot happening that you are not aware of. So be a little bit alert. Be a little bit awakened. On the other hand, this can be so that things are also happening in relation to your finances, like you are planning things which remain not really yet reviewed to the others, which can be reviewed later after the planets, after end of January. Mars on your 10th house, excuse me, Mars on your 10th house in his own place of Scorpio is powerful, can give you powerful energies for your plans, for your desires at work. But also there, be a little bit patient and diplomatic, because Mars is square in your ascendant. So these energies can be indeed very powerful and very ambitious, but try to structure them well and to be very well organized. Venus on your 12th house is not directly aspecting your ascendant, but still can be very positive for your spiritual growth and can bring good and calm sleep, for example, and can be very supportive for your health. The week is okay to travel, but be a little bit cautious and very well prepared, still because Mars, who is square in your ascendant. So financially, the week is not bad at all, but could be that financial results you don't receive yet. Could be that you're planning a lot of things which remain still in the sphere of plans and not yet manifested. This may happen later. Now let's see ascendant Pisces. For you, Venus is creating harmonious aspect to your ascendant, Mars as well. And these are good energies, these are powerful energies which are associated more with desires than with things which will be manifested yet. But they're about desires, energies to create, energies to expand your spirituality and knowledge, and maybe to travel. The situation at your career place is a little bit unpredictable because you have concentration of planets and their energies on your 10th house, which would say be alert, be diplomatic there, because even though Jupiter is in his own place, he is invisible on your 10th house, together with Mercury, together with Saturn, together with Pluto, together with the Sun. So a lot is happening. Maybe events unexpectedly are taking place in your career place, but still be diplomatic and very intuitive, because things can be a little bit unexpected. However, Venus is taking good care of you by sextiling harmoniously your ascendant. Also Mars can give you this desire to create, desire to study, desire to travel. Still structure very well your desires, your plans, use your intuition, and use your diplomatic skills. Other than that, the week is good financially for you. So I wish everyone very happy new year, very lucky, very harmonious 2020. Thank you for your attention. Your comments are welcome.